Cygy Garment is a family corporation that exclusively supplying ready-to-wear clothes to SM department stores. Cygy Garments is a partnership between two cousins, Gia Colliantes and Carmela Santos. The business was established in 1976. By 1977, Cygy Garments underwent their first expansion by acquiring 6 industrial machines and hiring more sewers. By the end of 1991, they were employing 25 workers, were manufacturing with 12 subcontractors, had a capacity of up to 18,000 pieces a month, and were making revenues of about 14 million pesos a year.
The Asian financial crisis of 1997. There was an overheating of the economy, and the rapidly growing Southeastern Asian countries formed a bubble. The bubble burst on July 1997. It was known as the Asian financial crisis of 1997. This crisis began in Thailand after the Thai baht, which is Thailand's currency, collapsed. Thailand had a huge foreign debt and was bankrupt. There were fears of the financial contagion spreading worldwide. It did. The crisis spread through the rest of the region, and other countries of Southeast Asia saw their stock markets fall. Indonesia, South Korea, and Thailand were the most affected. The rest of the countries were less affected, but they all experienced a fall in demand and confidence. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or what is known as the ASEAN, had a debt of 180% in the worst part of the crisis. What started the crisis was the government's failure to react and defend the baht. Thailand's economic prosperity ended, and the baht lost more than half of its value, as the Thai stock market dropped 75%. Further on, in South Korea, the banking sector was doing poorly as there was excess debt due to non-performing loans and negatively expanding South Korean corporations, which further on increased the economic problems. For example, in July 1996, Kia Motors felt forced to ask for emergency loans. Lastly, by June 1997, Indonesia seemed to not be affected by the crisis. A low inflation, a great trade surplus, and a good banking sector placed Indonesia far from crisis. Many corporations had been borrowing US dollars, which was a good idea since the rupiah, Indonesia's currency, had strengthened. However, when the baht was attacked, the rupiah dropped. The IMF also had to intervene with a bailout package of $23 billion, but the baht kept on falling. In November 1997, it reached its record low, and eventually the president Suharto resigned. Before the crisis, the exchange rate was about 2,600 rupiah to $1. After the crisis on January, it stood at 11,000 to $1. The crisis caused a loss of 13.5% of the country's GDP. The crisis in Asia had many macroeconomic-based effects. The crisis had a great impact on the countries and left many of them in great damage. There was a reduction in the values of currencies and in the stock markets. Many businesses failed and collapsed. As a result, many people fell below the poverty line in 1997-1998. The crisis also led to a political upheaval. The economy started overheating, which increased demand, and as a result, investors didn't see the underlying weaknesses of the economies. After the crisis, GDP values decreased greatly. The nominal US dollar GDP of ASEAN fell by 9.2 billion in 1997 and by 218 billion in 1998. There was a 31.7% change in only 1 year. The nominal US dollar GDP per capita fell 42.3% in Indonesia in 1997, 21.2% in Thailand, 19% in Malaysia, 18.5% in South Korea, and 12.5% in the Philippines.
Statement of the problem. How can Cygy garments cope up with the Asian economic crisis? Alternative courses of action. AKA number 1. Add new variety of products. AKA number 2. Regain previous clients. AKA number 3. Set up own store. Decision statement.
I, Gia Colliantes, responsible for the administrative operation, choose AKA number 3, which is to set up an own store. I chose AKA number 3 because with this action, we can easily provide what the customer wants, control the price of our product, and can add up to the company profit. Step by step, it will help our company to surpass the financial crisis encountered by the Asian economy.
Implementation program.
We are going to allocate budget. We are going to renovate a certain area in the factory site for setting up own store. This will be the new store layout inside the factory site.